Hello, welcome back to Budgets after a nice long break of spring break. Yesterday we talked about your selling and administrative budget and your budgeted income statement, and that wrapped up our operating budgets. We're now moving on to financial budgets. There are three: your capital expenditures budget, cash budget, and your budgeted balance sheet. Let's start with capital expenditures budget. All right, your capital expenditures budget, also sometimes called CapEx, in case you've heard that terminology in business. So it's also known as, AKA, you might hear CapEx, shorthand for capital expenditures. You might also hear the term capital assets budget. Capital assets, right? So they're interchangeable. All right, so what does this budget show us? So it's going to be prepared periodically when we're doing the other budgets, and it's going to show, so shows companies plans to invest in long-term productive assets. Examples: perhaps they need to replace existing equipment. Replacement of existing equipment, right? Equipment gets old, needs to be replaced, needs to be updated. The other thing that you will see on the capital expenditures budget are purchases of completely new equipment. Purchases of new equipment. So not just replacing it, but perhaps completely new equipment to meet additional production needs. So we're adding maybe a completely new machine so that we can expand and meet increased demand. And perhaps installation or improvement of existing pieces of equipment. Installation of improved types of machinery. And why would we do this? To help us reduce operating costs. So perhaps we can update some of our equipment in order to decrease our operating costs, utilities, things like that. So those might be ideas of items that we'll see on a company's capital expenditures or capital assets budget. Right? Maybe you'll just see a couple of those. Maybe it's only going to be new equipment for increased production. Maybe it's just going to be replacement, right? But these are items that might appear on a company's capital expenditures budget. So the format will list all expected capital asset purchases, and how financed, how it will be financed, right? So maybe we're going to purchase a building, and so then we're going to list that building, how much is going to be purchased with cash, how much is going to be purchased with a loan, right? And if you notice in your book, they didn't even have an example of a capital assets budget. This is typical for most introductory books. You won't find an example, an actual report format. So therefore, I'm not going to have us worry about the report format. We're going to actually go on to the next budget, the most important of the financial budgets, which is the cash budget. So that will be in the next video. But for now, I at least wanted you to know what a capital expenditures budget was, what is going to be presented on it, and that it's going to list of that capital asset how much will be purchased with cash. Again, we need that broken up because if it's purchased with cash, we're going to need to see it on the cash budget. How much will be purchased with a loan, because that loan will therefore need to appear on the liability section of the budgeted balance sheet. So that's why the capital asset budget would break that apart. All right, see you in the next video.